Welcome to the Mortgage Update with Dan Frio. For over 10 years, Dan has been helping AM 1160 listeners. With so many companies to choose from and hundreds of loan options, the mortgage process can be confusing and costly. Be sure to listen each day for Dan and learn the difference between FHA, VA, and conventional loans. You'll also learn how to negotiate lower interest rates and fees, as well as steps to buying your first home and whether refinancing makes sense. Stay tuned to find out why Chicago's top realtors are choosing Dan Frio.
Welcome back to the Mortgage Update with Dan Frio. And I, of course, am Dan Frio. If you have any questions for me, there's a couple ways to reach me. You can call me personally. It's 630-338-1160. You can email me at dan.frio, F-R-I-O, @gmail.com. Or just check me out on the web. Just Google Dan Frio. Everything will come up. Facebook, LinkedIn's, YouTube's, all that stuff. My YouTube channel is blowing up. And all my shows, Georgia producer puts them on podcast for me, and then I upload those onto YouTube as well. So you can see these on or listen to these on YouTube. So thanks, George, for that. Today, what I want to talk about is why me? Why you, the listener, or you, the watcher, if you're on YouTube, why would you choose me to work with? So I'll answer those, and I'll be as humble as I can. So I've done this for 30 years. So I've experienced a lot of things. So I always say, in this process, and I'm even saying in general in life, God's going to throw you a curveball. In the mortgage process, those curveballs can be hard. And if you don't have somebody in the background or working with you to get you through those times, you're going to fall flat on your face. It's a stressful process as is. So if you don't have somebody with experience in that, you could really falter. I had a friend of mine, we just closed their loan recently, and he said, I trust you. I'm dealing with you only. The reason being is you're that coach where you're down by 2 points with 45 seconds left. You don't want a new coach in the game trying to rally his team and figure out how to get down the field to win. I want a guy that's been there 100 times, 200 times, 1,000 times, that knows exactly what to expect and how to get your team in that position to score. So I was like, that's a great analogy. Thank you so much. So that was one of the reasons. The next is you always hear me say, what are you trying to do? You're listening to the show. Why? You want to buy a house, you want to refinance, you want to do something. Okay, awesome. Let me break it down a little further. Why do you shop around? If you're even looking for a car, let's say, why do you shop around? You could buy a 2018 Honda Accord white with leather and all that stuff. You could buy that at thousands of dealerships. So why did you go to 5 different dealerships? Why? Save money. Save money. You'll hear me say a lot. What's the goal here? What's your goal? What are you trying to do? You're trying to get money to buy a house or money out of your house. Okay? It's money. We're looking for money. So what do we try to do? I'm trying to get you that money as cheap as I can. It's just money. So 2 parts of this thing. One part is the interest rate. Okay? A lot of people get wowed over the interest rate. You should. But one area here that do not overlook are the fees. Okay? So let's say I'm going to give you 2 examples, and you tell me which one is better. You have a quote from a company that the rate is 3.99, and the other quote is 4. Which one's better? 3.99. Maybe. There's more to the equation. What did I just say? There's the rate and the fees. Okay? So now we go, let me go further, and then you decide. Don't just say the 3.99, I'm taking it. 3.99 is coming with $3,000 in fees. 4% is actually coming with 0, nothing, free. Which one's better? Okay, now answer the question. So so many people get wowed over the rate. And I see many times the fees $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, and the difference in the rate is minuscule. So why me? I'm probably going to be one of the cheapest places you're going to look at. There's so many out there that I can't say, 100% I'll be the cheapest. That's where you do want to shop around a little bit and find, but here's the key word that I hear a lot right now. And this is where, because when you call me, I'll be on the phone with you for a half hour. You can do things online. You can go to 1160mortgage.com, click top left, apply now, click it. You can do it on your phone. You can do it anywhere you want. It'll take you 5 minutes. Do it. It'll populate in my system. I'll give you a call, and we're going to go through, that information. Why do I do that? Well, I want to make sure the information's right. So let's go back to fees. Here's the big buzzword people are saying now. My rate is $399, ma'am. And the only out-of-pocket costs you have is $275. Isn't that great? Well, there's more to that equation. We're going to highlight what I just said. Ma'am, your only out-of-pocket costs. Ma'am, your only out-of-pocket cost. We don't want just your out-of-pocket costs. What are the costs? You'd be surprised that most people hear your only out-of-pocket costs $275. You'll get your paperwork and it's $5,000 is the cost, but they rolled it in. So don't also think, well, they rolled it in. You're still paying it. Now you're paying interest on top of those costs. So would you rather have 4% with nothing or 3.99% with $275 out-of-pocket costs and $5,000 in junk fees? You make that decision. So that's another reason why me. I should beat almost everybody you talk to or shop around for in costs and have the same rate, if not lower. Give it a shot. What do I do? What is my job? My fiduciary responsibility is to shop your loan around. Here's what I mean by shop you around. I deal with over 20, there's probably 21 or 22 different lenders that I work with. Why? Well, some only do $100,000 loans and higher with a 680 credit score and higher. Some will go down to a 500 credit score for FHA clients. Some have phenomenal jumbo rate programs. Some are phenomenal with VA programs. Others have a bank statement program for that truck driver that I use as an example. That's why I use all these places. So if you call one particular company who's not a broker, they have their programs. So my analogy here is you want to buy a car. Dan, I really don't know the exact make and model that I want, but I really need a car. My car just broke down. Okay. So you go to Toyota. Are you going to get to see all of your options? No. You're going to see all the options in Toyota. You go to the Jeep dealership. You getting to see all your options? No, you're getting to see Jeeps. You go to CarMax. You getting to see all your options? You bet you are. Think of me as CarMax. You're going to me, and I have all these programs of all these 20 different lenders. I have all their programs to offer for you. The cool thing is, well, Dan, how much is this costing me? I'm going to go back to square one. I'm not charging you anything. Well, Dan, how do you make money? Well, great question. And I tell this to people when they call. Here's a question you should ask me. Dan, how are you making money? Ask your lender that if you go to somebody else. How are you making money? They make money a ton of different ways. I make money one way. The volume that I do with each particular lender, they pay me a percentage of that volume. It is not based on the interest rate. My job is to go out in the market with all these companies and find you the best rate out there, period. I cannot make a penny more on any other things that you might be charged for. So, for example, a credit report. That's basically the only cost you're going to have on my side of the fence. That credit report, let's say it's when we run your credit, let's say that the cost is $27.85. What am I charging you? $27.85. I can't make a penny more. You go somewhere else, what are they charging you for that credit report? Whatever they want. $100. They're not under if they're the lender, they're a lender, a big company such as the Quickens and the Wells Fargos and the Bank of America and the Guaranteed Rates and these other places, they can charge you whatever they want. The appraisal fee, your normal appraisal fee when you're getting a loan is $470. When you go through me, it's $470 because you will pay the appraiser directly. You're not paying me. Many other places, they're going to charge you $550. And they're getting a big discount because they're a huge company. They're only paying $450 for it, so they're making that extra money. More junk fees on top of it. So these are all areas that you're going to see. Then you're also going to see doc prep, underwriting, processing, all these other things that are going to add up to $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. So that is, why I choose to be a mortgage broker. I want to give you all your options at the best rate with virtually no fees or no cushion there, no junk fees. I'll reference it as that. So again, this is Dan Frio of the Mortgage Update. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally, give me a call at 630-338-1160. Check me out on the web at 1160mortgage.com or check me also out on YouTube, The Mortgage Update with Dan Frio. Stay tuned. When we come back, we're going to go over the parties involved when you're looking to purchase a house. And I'm going to step you through 1, 2, 3, 4 steps on home ownership. Welcome back to the Mortgage Update with Dan Frio. So, at the beginning, we talked about why use me? Why use Dan Frio? What's the difference between him and all the other places? So now, one of the biggest questions I'm getting on YouTube, emails, I even have people texting me. How do I want to buy a house, but I am so confused on what I need to do. I go on Zillow and I'm finding a house and these numbers don't make any sense and there's realtors on the side. Are those people that's selling the house? Should I use them? Do I not have to use them? I see all these ads for all these phenomenal mortgage things. This guy will give me the best rate in town. This girl will give me credits and grants and all this. I am thoroughly lost. I might just continue to rent. Let me walk you through this from renting or getting out of mom and dad's house, getting or purchasing a home. Now, for the older people out there, I'm in my 50s. I've been at my fourth house, I think it is. The world is different. What I hate is, I never had to do that before. The world's different, guys. 10 years ago, the world basically crashed. And, the mortgage system did. Housing did. So a lot of tweaks have been made. So don't live on the past. There was a lot of mistakes done. You did probably a lot of things 10, 20 years ago that you don't do today. So does the mortgage industry. So does the mortgage process. Okay, so let's walk through. Dan, I want to buy a house. Tell me, guide me. What do I do? Okay, the first thing, number one, before you do anything, why are you looking at homes that you don't have the cash to buy it? If you do, God bless you. But don't look at houses if you don't know if you can even get one. It'd be like me. I don't go look at Lamborghinis. I can't get one. So let's put everything in perspective. So now, because you're going to go on the web and you're going to see, every time, and even, some realtors do this, take you to a house, you qualify for $200,000. What I hate is, and I don't want you dealing with this one, go and see a $400,000 house. Why? You can't get it, period. So you're seeing something that you can't obtain. So now let's get back to it. Number one step, if you don't have cash, secure your financing. What can I or can't I get approved for? Okay. So hopefully what you've done is you've listened to the show, or you know somebody's listened to the show. I'm hoping you know your credit scores and you have them and you've been working on them, or they're phenomenal. So creditscoresandmore.com, plural, creditscoresandmore.com. Step 1, get your credit scores, monitor those. Don't wait till the last second. When you're finally like, my lease runs up in 60 days. I need to buy a house fast. We pull your credit and it's, there's a bunch of stuff on there that needs work, because you're probably going to need a month or two to fix that. So step 1, be prepared there. Or step before 1, the kindergarten piece. Step 1, figure out what you qualify for. Okay. Why me? I explained earlier, why me? I have all these programs. I don't cost you anything, and I don't juice any of the prices on anything, meaning upsell any of the fees to make any more money, and I have 30 years of doing this. If the program is out there, I'll find it. Okay? So we want to get you pre-approved, and I'm going to walk you through every piece of that pre-approval process. You can do it online if you want. Go to 1160mortgage.com or themortgageupdate.net. Top left, click apply now. Boom. If you work, I get it. You work 9 to 6 or 8 to 7 or whatever. You have the evenings. Do it on the evenings. Do it on the weekends. What will happen is I will call you or email you saying, hey, call me when you have 15 minutes. Why? I want to make sure the information you put in is accurate. Because if it's, junk in, junk out, if the information you put in is inaccurate, my pre-approval is going to be inaccurate. I don't want that. I don't want to take you down a road and hit a brick wall or have any inclination of hitting a wall. I want to make sure the data that we have is accurate. Okay. So then I'm going to go over, I always say, give me the pieces of the puzzle. Let me put the puzzle together. So now we put that puzzle together. Now you qualify for 3 programs. I'll go back to you and say, okay, we qualify for A, B, C. I personally would take B. Here's why. You don't have to do that. But I've done this enough. I'm not trying to put you in a bad position. A lot of my business is referrals. A lot of it is social media. The last thing I want is a complaint or somebody saying, that Dan guy, he's a quack. No, I want to say, thanks. Hey, you did a phenomenal job. Thank you for walking me through that. Thank you for letting me know this. Thank you for getting me through that tough situation. So we get you pre-approved. Okay. What I'm going to ask you for, too, is stuff, meaning I want your paychecks. I want your bank statements. It's a lot more, and you might say, well, Dan, I don't want to go through all that. I just like that thing where I go on in 30 seconds I get pre-approved. You're setting yourself up for failure, possibly. So you're going to spend maybe $100, $200, $300, $500, $700,000. Do it right. Okay, do it right. So we get you pre-approved, and we know what we're getting into, why, how, what, and where. Okay, now we got the financing secured. You qualify for a loan, a purchase price of $300,000. Okay, at X payment. So now what do we do? Well, now we're going to look at homes. So now we're setting you up with a phenomenal realtor that does this full time, knows what they're doing, has your best interest in mind. They don't sell one house a month and that's their paycheck, so they're just driving you into buying a house, any house that they could talk you into so they can get a paycheck. No. We want to get you into that house of your dreams, what meets all your expectations. So we're going to use a realtor for that. Why? There's no cost to you. Why? Because they have access to a lot of homes that you don't see. Why? Because you'll probably miss a lot of the houses out there that meet your criteria, that you're just not on the web 24 hours a day checking homes. That's why. It's free. They'll find houses you don't, and you won't miss anything out there in the market. Okay? The next thing is an attorney. We're going to get a phenomenal attorney that has your best interest in mind. They're going to go through that contract and find anything that goes against you. I had a client just not too long ago. They were buying a house from a builder, and that builder was charging them any time that the financing is delayed. That builder is charging them $500 a day for any late closings. Okay. That doesn't mean, let's say on the builder side, the house wasn't ready. That's not to say, on the builder's side that their legal team couldn't close it on the day it was supposed to close. It had no repercussions of anything of that. It just says if you don't close on X date, every day after that is a $500 penalty. Well, they wanted to go not hire an attorney to save $400 or $500, and it bit them in the butt because it couldn't close in time because of a few different things. And I think they did end up negotiating it. I kind of got out of the scene at that point. I tried to help, but it's out of my circle. So I think they did get it figured out because it did close. That's what your attorney's going to do. I talked to one of the attorneys I deal with, and they said, that's the first thing I would scratch through. That builder wants to sell that house. If these people don't buy it, they actually tweak this house to exactly what they want. Now the builder has to put the house back on the market, hopefully find somebody that wants that specific house with all those bells and whistles. Plus, it's going to take, they have to find a buyer, which might take a week, 2, 3, 4 weeks to do that. And then the financing takes usually about 30 to 60 days. So now they're 3 months out. So he's like, that's the first thing I strike through. So the attorney is going to be a big piece of this puzzle. The fourth piece of this puzzle, there's 4 major pieces: the financing, finding the house, covering your butt with legal, home inspection. Now, home inspection isn't the appraisal, okay? The piece of the appraisal is basically they're checking the house for any deficiencies or other things. But they're basically, one of the biggest things they're looking for is the value of that house. That's the appraisal. That's on the lending side. Well, one of the big things I always say is this is going to be about $500-$600. Probably the best spent $500 to $600 you could spend. That's a home inspection. What the home inspector does is they go out there and they're going through everything. They're going under the kitchen sink to check the plumbing. They're going downstairs in the electrical outlets, in the fuse boxes, the electrical boxes. They're going in the attic. Is there any signs of mold, leaking, anything? They're going through everything. Is the furnace, is there any cracks in the furnace? Is the roof, what's the age of the roof? They're breaking it down. They could save you thousands and thousands. A new roof's going to cost you $10,000. A new furnace, $2,000 to $3,000. A crack in the foundation, thousands. This is what they do. Don't skimp in that area. Don't skimp in any of these areas. Get a good finance person. Get a good realtor. Get a good attorney. Get a good home inspector. I can help you with all those. So we're coming to a conclusion today. I hope you loved the show. I hope you learned a lot. Please share it, like it, do whatever you got to do. Give me a call if you'd like to talk with me personally. My number is 630-338-1160. You can find me on the web at 1160mortgage.com, or you can also find me at the Mortgage Update with Dan Frio, F-R-I-O, on YouTube, or just Google me, Dan Frio, F-R-I-O. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you learned something. Share this along. Give me some comments, and God bless. Have a great evening.
You've been listening to the Mortgage Update with Dan Frio. For over 10 years, Dan has been helping AM 1160 listeners. With so many companies to choose from and hundreds of loan options, the mortgage process can be confusing and costly. Be sure to listen each day for Dan and learn the difference between FHA, VA, and conventional loans. You'll also learn how to negotiate lower interest rates and fees, as well as steps to buying your first home and whether refinancing makes sense.